G'day champions, I'm Jax, this is the Travelling Turner, and today we're off to an area that wasn't settled by Europeans until the late 19th century. They were timber cutters who wanted to exploit the area for jarrah, marri and blackbutt supplies that were there. Now, I am of course referring to the beautiful southwest town of Dwellingup. Dwellingup is positioned about an hour and a half south of Perth City, and it has a local population of under 500 people. I found this track just outside of the town and decided to see where it went. Now, I'd say amongst WA locals, Dwellingup is probably most renowned for its camping sites. There are some beautiful dedicated camping sites around this region. And as it lies in the Darling Range, there is plenty to do when it comes to getting back to nature. There's rivers, there's hikes, there's bushwalks, and now you can even say there's been wood turning. This nice little clearing caught my eye and I was able to back the car up perfectly and get ready to set up. I sent the drone up to have a look at where I was and I was astounded. Low-lying clouds through the valley were absolutely amazing. No civilization for as far as the eye can see. Nothing but trees and your natural surroundings. This is up there with my favourite shots from the whole season. It was a bit of a brisk morning this one. We're sitting at about 7 AM. But I realised if I kept the jumper on, I was hiding the Travelling Turner logo, so that had to go and I had to brave the cool air. I got the lathe set up, running nicely, then took the solar panels out, which for this episode probably weren't needed as we were in a pretty shaded area. Once again, I've got a lovely piece of camphor laurel for this episode, quite a bit larger than any of the pieces we've turned so far. We get that secured onto the lathe using a faceplate, and then bring the tailstock up for a bit of extra support. Before getting distracted and flying my drone again. Look at this scenery. Start off where every wood turning project starts off. Got to get the blank running nice and true on the lathe. The shavings coming off this piece were beautiful. Camphor laurel is really a lovely timber to turn. It is not hard on your tools, it cuts beautifully, just don't get the dust in your eye because that is not a fun time. I'm going about making a mortise in the bottom of what will be a bowl so that I can turn it around and hold it in the chuck. Look at the colours in that grain, not sanded or polished yet. The amazing reds and browns are already popping. Everyone's favourite task now, a little bit of sanding. took this piece up to 400 grit with the sandpaper before coming at it with step 1 of the custom grit combo. Apply that liberally to the piece and straight away you can see that grain start to come to life. Then I start out buffing it at a low speed, working all of that grit in before taking a clean part of the rag and removing any excess, and then we're on to step 2. This will take the piece up to a rated 100,000 grit finish. And as you can see in this clip, the shine kicks in instantly. You can see my reflection in this bowl. Open up the jaws in the mortise, getting the bowl ready to flip around so we can hollow out the inside. I didn't feel like unscrewing the faceplate on this one, so I decided it was time for a bit of magic. Start the task of hollowing out this bowl, and as this piece was quite a large bowl blank, this took some time. The beautiful long shavings continued though, as I worked my way to the center of this bowl. Now, I popped that center support out once I was confident that I'd hollowed enough out that I could remove the tailstock. And I slowly keep working and refining the shape. Now, I did have some limitations with the tools that I had in terms of being able to hollow out such a deep undercut in this bowl. So in order to combat that, I did end up leaving this bowl rather thick on the edges. This is the first time I've ever used this gauge to test out how thick it actually was. Start the process of sanding the inside. I took the inside up to 400 grit with the sandpaper as well before coming at it with step 1 and step 2 of the custom grit combo. Beautiful red-tailed black cockatoo flying through the air. I'm so glad I caught that. And this piece was done. Time to remove it from the chuck. Show you guys what it actually looks like up close. There's some beautiful chatoyance in this timber. Before I find a nice little stump to park up on, pull out the pyrography kit and make sure that I engrave the travelling turner on the bottom so that we all know when and where this was made. Quite a serene process, this last step. Sitting completely alone in the bush with just the sounds of nature around you, it was beautiful and relaxing. The travelling turner 4 on the bottom, and that was this piece finished up. Thanks for venturing to Dwelling Up with me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this adventure. And I hope you come back next week when we set off for another venture to the beautiful southwest.